everyone!
Hello!
And welcome to Kirsty and Bryony's Comfort Zone.
I am Kirsty.
That was such a dramatic pause.
It's very dramatic. I'm feeling very dramatic today.
And I am Bryony.
Oh my god.
We're going to be delving into each other's brains once more for a spot of, and I learned this, oneromancy.
Oh. Is that talking? The art of talking?
No, it's
the magic of talking.
It's the art of getting meaning from dreams.
Oh!
But it's actually more specifically trying to, divinate the future from dreams. So I guess technically we're not, but maybe we can. Maybe as a one-off.
Oh my god!
Should we try and predict the future from dreams?
This is the future predicting episode.
We've this actually goes out in a few weeks, so we could predict something for the day it goes out.
Oh my god!
And then
all right, I'm going to start. I predict that money will be raised on the Jingle Jam. Oh my god! Pew, 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 pew.
I predict that at 10 a.m. upon this very day, a podcast shall be released upon many platforms.
Oh my god! You are a genius.
Oh
You're
wait, no, it's meant to
master
be
at
connected
this.
to dreams because we had a dream about it.
Yeah.
I had this dream.
I
There was 2 weeks of charity drive. And it was really good, and there were these two really funny streamers in particular, and I loved them. There you go. Nailed it.
Nailed it. That's perfect. Good job.
It's because I was reading yet again. Women and their thoughts and their readings.
Classic women.
I was reading about Greek gods, and we were sort of talking about this a bit yesterday, Morpheus, because I found out that Morpheus he's sort of the god of dreams, but there are three others. He's part of a trio that I don't actually remember the names of, but they're the Honorai.
They're the ones that Rydian mentioned the other day, right, on stream?
Yeah, so Morpheus is like the god of useful dreams or something, and then the other two are just shapes and nonsense. I was like, those are the ones we should be focusing on.
I've remembered their names. It's Bryony and Kirsty.
Oh, that was it. But in ancient times, we were known as Brioncles and Customus.
Brioncles and Customus.
The other two goddesses of nonsense dreams and stress dreams. I should look up what they actually were, because I can't remember how do you know, actually, I do remember how I got onto this. It's because I was, not for the reason you might think, I was looking up names that have Asta in them. Not Astarian,
okay.
Specifically. Also, that can mean little star. But because there was this thing, maybe I talked to you about it before, but there was this thing about how a lot of people believed that when there were problems that happened in your life, it's because you were born under a bad star. So that's why the word dis-asta, because dis is sort of danger, bad. Well, I guess dis is another word for hell as well. So it's sort of bad star when you say something's a disaster.
That's cool.
So
I like that.
I was just looking up other asters, and then I somehow and then the goddess of dreams in Greek mythology is Asteria, and that is how I led on to looking at the various dream people.
Astarian fan.
That was very critical
relevant
to the research that I that I needed. But
Rydian listens to this. We can't talk about this. Moving on.
So Morpheus he's the personification of dreams, but he was specifically, this is probably completely wrong, but I think he is specifically who the gods would send into dreams to deliver messages. So that's why he's more associated with like very prophetic dreams and being told like, yeah, you will win the war if you just do this sort of thing. He would be in dreams then. But the other two, I think, are just like, they're just meant to be like dreams of weird shapes that don't mean anything and absolute nonsense. Which I guess is, I'm trying to find this list of who the others are, but I can't find them. Maybe it was a dream I had. Maybe it was Morpheus trying to mess me up, being like...
Trying to be a guest on the podcast, by the sounds of it.
Oh my gosh.
Get him on here, man.
There's one... The first of these, made of horn apparently was the source of prophetic God-sent dreams, while the other, constructed of ivory, was the source of dreams which were false and without meaning. Apparently the term for nightmare was melas oneros, which means black dream.
Oh.
So there you go.
I always relate nightmare to, like, you know, like the flaming black horse, you know, like riding over the horizon to deliver nightmares to your
like
brain.
An actual night.
Like an actual nightmare. Well, yeah, if like a nightmare, if you said like nightmare horse, like it's like a, you know, I don't know what to say. I don't want to say like folklore thing, but I mean, I know it's a D&D thing, but it's probably got roots somewhere, right? But yeah, that's what I always think of.
I always got confused. Maybe this is me taking things too literally. But I always got confused when people were like, I am your worst nightmare. Because I was like, well, nightmares are meant to be bad. So my worst nightmare would be one that's not really that bad, really. It would just be like, oh, a chicken pecked my foot or something like that. I don't feel like it would be anything. Surely it should be like, I am your best nightmare, your strongest, most effective nightmare.
But if you say best nightmare, that just makes it sound like...
That also sounds good too.
It sounds positive, doesn't it?
Yeah. Maybe I'm just too positive.
just too positive. I had a nightmare for bloody ages, honestly.
Icalos was also one of the Honoroi. He was the personification of nightmares and appeared in various types of dreams. He made shapes of humans appear in dreams. So if we have dreams of humans, it's thanks to that little guy.
Oh.
And there's also Phantasos. And what do you do? What do you do?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Oh, they are the god of surreal dreams. He represents the inanimate objects seen in prophetic dreams, images of earth, rock, water, and water. What? So it's thanks to Phantasos that I'm having all these
so
anxiety
much,
dreams.
dude.
Thanks, Phantasos.
Phantasos.
Luminac.
So if you dream of water, you could say that it's a fantasy. That was terrible.
Phantasus. There's also Phobator, also known as the Frightener. He appeared in dreams in the forms of beasts or birds or the long serpent. Well, I wonder what the book would say about him.
Oh, that guy.
The long serpent slithering in to the dreams and book. But the thing in all of this that I wanted to tell you most of all, which I found the most exciting, was that, you know, I said that it was Asteria who was the goddess of, she's the goddess of dreams, essentially. Sort of stars and nighttime and divination, but also dreams. But she is the mum of Hecate, who is the goddess of witchcraft. So this is a very long way of me explaining that dreams and witchcraft have always been very connected.
Hell yeah.
And that was taking me 10 minutes to explain my thought. Excellent.
Excellent. Good start. No, I
when I
love
was
that.
reading up about it, because obviously we've talked before about how like dreams back in the witchy days, a lot of people would probably be quite scared of the dreams that they were having because they'd be like, is this the devil?
Is
putting
the devil visiting
thoughts
me?
in my head and sending me messages and stuff. But yeah, it turns out more connected than you might have thought.
I like that.
It's all an excuse for me to
Man,
read
just
more
witches-
Greek mythology.
Witches are just so cool. I love witches.
I saw this thing on, it was an advert on Instagram earlier, and it was so basically, when you were growing up, you'd get those kits. Typically, you'd find them in the Argos magazine. They would have like chemistry kits, and it would just be like, make the frothy volcano and mix these two. And you'd make those, when you got like the stick and you covered it with sugar and that would make crystals and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It was that sort of kit, but it was like a witchcraft one. And it came with like a little cauldron that you would make frothing potions come out of it. It was called like frog froth or something. And I was like, I want that. I was like, me would have loved that, but also me right now want that.
I saw one, I found an Instagram, I think it was Instagram, like a bunch of reels, where this person gets like 90s toys and like plays with them and just records it. It's sort of like an ASMR thing, I think.
Yeah.
But they had one that was one of those, like little potion sets. And they were filling the thing with water and then pouring in the powder. And then you'd pour something else in, it would turn to jelly and stuff like that. And it's so cool. It's so cool. And I was like, I remember doing that. I remember having those. They're so fun.
I used to make little potions under my bed. So I would, it's just that typical like George's Marvelous Medicine type thing of, I'd raid the bathroom. Now I have to buy my own.
Literally, I was about to say that. Yeah.
I appreciate how much money I probably cost with my silly little potions.
I did exactly the same thing, but I did it when I was in the bath. So when I was in the bath as a kid, I would make potions. So I would like get, I don't know, like a little pot and I would just put loads of bloody shampoo in it and bubble bath and everything. It was like, this is my potion.
I remember one time I did it like, because basically I had one of those beds that was raised up and you'd pull the desk out and you could crawl underneath. And that was like my witch's cave, and I would crawl under there and I would like scurry like a little goblin into the kitchen and the bathroom, and I'd be like, gotta go to my ingredients for my potions. And then I'd take them under the bed and just be like, magical. And there was one time I had this little silver bauble.
And Tabs is just coughing up a hairball, by the way, so sorry if you can hear it.
My magic.
Tabs! Oh my God.
I put this little silver bauble into the potion and it like rusted. And for me, that was proof that I was indeed
you are a witch.
Magical and powerful.
Rust witch. Hang on, I'm just going to grab Tabs because he's coughing his little heart out.
Oh, bless him. Give him a good squeeze. Or does that not? I don't know what helps get a hairball out. At the moment, I have popcorn stuck in my throat from lunch. So whatever Kirsty does for Tabs, if it works, I'll ask that she recreates it on me as well. Just in case. It's that awkward, like, hello, I was just telling everyone about my popcorn. No!
Your popcorn?
My little popcorn that's ailing me right now.
Still there.
Still there. I'll cough it up right at the end. I'll record it and it can be
lovely.
Patreon content.
Stick it on the Patreon, which we don't have yet. I will get around to that, I promise.
Could do a bet as to how long, like when people take bets as to how long it will take for someone to have a baby.
How long will it take for Kirsty to make the Patreon?
Oh no, I meant how long for me to cough up my popcorn or swallow it. Did you ever, in Hertfordshire, did you ever go to the Royal Veterinary College? That's in Hertfordshire, isn't it?
That is in Potter's Bar, ? The RVC, I think.
Because I used to go to fundraisers there as a child. That was something to do.
I'm pretty sure that's in Potter's Bar because I used to drive near it to go to work.
But they would put on these events, and they were amazing. It's where I first ever saw a ferret.
It's in
they would
Hatfield,
have,
so it's not far from Pottersbar.
Oh, yeah, so it's not far at all. From my neck of the woods.
True.
But I remember going there, and they had this thing where basically they put a cow in a small fenced-off area, and they made a grid, and you had to put on the grid where, like, a cross where you thought the cow was going to poo first. And this is what happens when you grow up in a small town. There's not much to do for entertainment, so we used to watch the cow.
Just Hertfordshire things.
And I won. I won a clock. It's a cat clock.
Ah.
I still have it, and it's one of the few things I've ever won. I did it the noblest way possible by guessing the cow poo.
Did you have a strat for guessing the cow poo? Or
No, I think maybe it was more of that witchy magic. I could.
Oh, you just talked to the cow and said, "Can you just do a poo here, please?" That would be great.
I put on my best cowboys. They're like, okay, I've got you, don't worry.
Yeah, I got you. No worries. X marks the spot.
Showed them like the diagram that I'd drawn of the field. It was a square. right here, please. We can share the winnings. I never gave the cow the clock, though.
Oh my God, to this day, they're still there. Like,
cow, if you're listening.
One day she'll return with my clock.
What time is it? I don't know.
I pooed so hard for that. She promised.
Oh. The ferrets were nice, though.
Oh, I've never been to the RVC. I went to college near there. I went to Oaklands College, which I think is in Pottersbar, ?
I think there's many. There's one in Welland Garden and one in St Albans as well.
Oh, and actually, no, yeah, it's probably St Albans. I just think everything's in Pottersbar. No, it is in St Albans. I forgot. I didn't drive there for 2 years straight, no. But, yeah, I went there, so that was pretty close. But we never went to the RVC. For some reason.
I used to love it. It was like such a good place for, because I don't remember why they would have these open days, but they just would, and you could just go, and there would be like car boot sales and dog shows, but not like proper dog shows. It was just like not like breeder ones. It was
it's just like
let's just watch a dog
right?
goof around for 10 minutes and everyone applauds. It was nice.
The best kind of dog show.
Yeah. Good boys and girls.
Babies.
Being doggos.
Doggos.
Would you like to hear a very fresh dream? This is one I recorded this morning.
Fresh out of the brain.
Yeah, it's all warm and doughy still.
Let's do it. Let's listen to your doughy dream.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. I had a dream that all I remember was I was in this like really quaint little village town, and I had to go after, I was going out with this Ken sort of thing, and he decided he was going to go and see his friends or something. So I like went after him because I was thinking, well, I think I had to get the train somewhere. So I went into this group of guys and I was like, Ken, and they all turned around and were like, yeah, and I was like, no, my Ken. And they were like, oh, he went off down there because he was upset or something. So I went down the road and I found him. I was like, is everything okay? And he was like, you're leaving me, you upset me and stuff. And I was trying really hard to like think what was the best thing to say. So I was saying to him like, you don't mean that, you're just upset with me because, you're feeling abandoned and you don't want me to go, so you're lashing out and stuff. And we ended up that we had quite a nice talk of me just sort of saying like, just trying to be very upfront with emotions and and stuff, and eventually ended up giving him a big hug. And I was thinking like, oh, I do need to get my train, but I don't want to leave him. And then he was like, oh, should we go and sit on Boba's secret bench? And I was like, okay. And it turned out it was just this bench that was just down the road, and we were walking past all these other benches, and there were all these like picnic, not full picnics, but evidence that people had been having picnics there, sort of thing, laid out. And when we got to what was meant to be Boba's secret bench, there was, I think, a guy around there, and we were like, oh my gosh, he must still be having his picnic. There was just like a massive, like, wrapped up wheel of cheese at the bench. But yeah, I think that's all I remember. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
That was very short and sweet.
Yeah, my Ken.
Ken. But there were many Kens.
Yeah.
No, my Ken.
Have you seen the Barbie movie?
No, I haven't.
So obviously every Barbie is just called Barbie, and every Ken is just called Ken in a Barbie world. So there are so many times when they're like walking around, they're just like, hi Ken, hey Ken, hey Barbie, hey Barbie, hey Barbie, hey Ken. So and it was just like that. It's just, I went in and I was just like, Ken? And like every guy turned around and was just like, yes. And I was like, no, Ken.
Ken.
My Ken.
I love how they just instantly went, oh yeah, he's over there.
He was
as
like
if you
having
might have
huff.
wanted them.
Little huff by the wall. But yeah, it felt like
And then you went to the secret cheese bench.
Yeah, Boba's secret bench.
Oh my god.
It was in the middle of the park. It wasn't hidden at all. It was just right there.
But the secret is that nobody knows it was Boba's bench.
True. I have no idea why it was Boba's bench.
Maybe Boba left the cheese there.
Maybe. Like, some of the dream I understand why I had it. Like, Ken was very tall, and I was telling you about how I saw one of my very tall friends yesterday. Oh my gosh, that's so weird. Boba just messaged me. How does she know?
How does she know?
She's listening in from her secret bench. So yeah, I reckon that's why it was like, saw a tall friend, got a tall Ken. And I think the reason that Ken was put in my head is because I'm currently reading Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. And there's a guy in that who says Ken in like the Scottish way, like, you know what I mean? Sort of thing, like you can. Yeah. So I guess I just read the word Ken a lot, and my mind just went, Ken.
Ken.
So that side of it makes sense. And I guess like the reason I think we're in like a small village is because Alex and I've been talking about going for days out, and the last few days out we've had have been to like Castle Coombe, Goblin Coombe. So just love the Coombs. Love Coombe. Really want to be surrounded by Coombe. Yes. I just like being in those like quaint little places. Comfort zone. Yeah. Comfort zone.
Comfort zone.
Maybe we can do a live episode from Goblin Coombe sometime and call it that.
The comfort zone. Oh my god.
Yeah, like it just seemed odd to have this dream boyfriend.
Yeah.
There. I don't remember him particularly looking like anyone I could. It wasn't like, oh, and it was Xylus, who I seem to dream about a lot.
Just a guy.
Just like a random
Ken.
guy.
I'm just Ken. That's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
I've not seen the movie.
Actually, I wonder if it was also to do with obviously I, and Iridian had like a big chat about comfort films the other day.
Oh, we did. Yeah.
Or like how you don't have to, your favorite film doesn't necessarily have to be one that you've seen a lot. And I remember thinking like, oh, the Barbie movie did really affect me, like struck a chord with me. So I guess there's like 3 different reasons why Ken in my brain. Ken. Oh, I didn't say the third reason. The third reason is because I keep on watching TikToks that have so it's this trend where basically people will be, because have you seen the what's his name, Pete, he went out with one of the Kardashians. That's the one. He did like
his version of the Ken song.
Yeah. It will be like the dog or the cat or the rabbit or whatever that's like the first one I ever had and playing will be like, I'm just Ken. And then it will be like, this is the cat that persuaded me to get another cat. And then the other cat is just a menace and it's like, I'm just Pete. So I think those 3 things combined to give me a dream Ken. all signs just pointed to Ken, or all thoughts funneled into Ken dream.
Amazing.
But I guess like, not in a spoilery way, but the Barbie movie is very much about expressing feelings and just, I guess, processing things. So I guess that would explain why I was very much just like, I think you are feeling this way and you're not angry, you're just upset and that's okay, sort of thing.
Aww.
But also, I feel like I've just rambled. Very sorry.
No, you're not. I'm listening intently. I love it. Keep talking, my love.
I got a message from a friend, was it yesterday or the day before, saying like, I need some dream help. I had this dream. Aww. What do you think it could mean? And I actually found it like very nice in a way. It had this feeling of like, you know, when you used to have, I'm going back to witches again, but if you had like, you know, the village witch and it's just like, oh, I've got a bit of I don't know, whatever people used to have, jip in my hip or whatever.
I've got a bit of jip in my hip.
And you'd be like, oh, you know, I'll go off and see old Bethel and she'd make me a poultice, rub some herbs on it and I'll be fine. And it felt like I could be that, you know, just like, oh, I know the wizened old woman who talks about dreams. I'd go to her and get her knowledge. And honestly, I actually feel like I did an okay job.
I love it. I've had a couple of people do the same with me as well. My brother did it the other day. Like he messaged me and was like, I think he actually sent me a voice clip telling me what his dream was.
Aww.
But I think the long and short of it was that he had wobbly teeth in his dream. And I was like, classic stress dream. Yep. Yeah. You're stressing about something, bro. Actually, I'll hang on. Let me find my response to him. I'll tell you exactly what I told him. I said, could mean you're stressed, could mean you went to the dentist and were thinking about teeth, lol.
Teeth often mean teeth.
Yeah. I find that that's often the case.
Very symbolic.
He did, in fact, go to the dentist. So kind of made sense.
Yeah. Wait, before or after the dream? Is this on Nevermancy?
Hang on, that's a good question. Hang on, I will listen to his thing. I don't know if he actually.
I actually remembered a dream last night because I went to the dentist last night.
Yep.
Or yesterday. I had a dream that my front tooth was wobbly. Oh yeah, I don't remember anything else, but my front tooth was wobbly.
Thanks. That's it. That's literally what he said to me.
Oh my gosh, special guest.
Probably because you went to the dentist, bro. Yep, I'm a dream witch.
Yeah, we're very good at what we do. It's very specialized.
Oh, hang on, something's coming to me. I'm getting something in my mind. I think he's going to have another dentist appointment in about a year's time.
Oh, my gosh.
Maybe. Ooh.
I did actually have quite a weird. I mean, it's not a weird thing at all. It's just, I guess, a coincidence at best. But the other day I was saying to Alex, like, oh, I felt a little bit off. I wonder if my iron levels are low. And then I got a text from the doctor being like, we'd like to do a blood test to check your iron levels. And I was like, oh, you and me both. Just, I think it just happens that it's like, it's been however long since I last had a blood test and it's time to do the recheck. But it's just weird that I was like, I just said that too. How did they know?
How? It's almost like they have a system. And
I was wondering what to look up for my dream, but I can't think. I mean, should I look up bench?
or cheese.
Or cheese? A bench. I mean, the cheese is probably because it's like cheese season, isn't it? Like,
yeah, the cheese is the ripe this time of year on the trees.
Yeah, it's dropping off the trees. There's I just feel like there's that like when it approaches Christmas and all of a sudden it's just like make way in the supermarket for the special cheeses.
It's cheese time.
Other cheese, everyday cheese. Move aside.
The most wonderful time of the year. Cheese time.
Like even as a one of those bloody vegans, I'm excited because I've got some friends coming over in a couple weekends' time. That's a lie because this podcast goes out the weekend after. My friends came over last weekend. And I bought them.
I hope you had a good time.
We did. And I am going to / did, hopefully, bought a cheese board from
a bistro.
Herbivore Deli in Wapping Wharf.
Oh, lovely.
So hopefully the cheese won't have sold out because I feel like because we're having it at the beginning of the December, not for Christmas.
Hopefully the cheese didn't sell out when you bought it.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. But it's fine because it happened and it was good.
Yep.
We're really good at pre-recording. I don't think anyone's noticed.
No, I agree.
Getting away with it. Nice. I've looked up bench and I've looked up seat. And there is nothing. So I'm going to look up chair.
Oh, really?
To see if
there's nothing for seat? What about sitting, like the act of sitting down?
Sitting is the opposite of standing.
True. It might have some sort of meaning.
Yes.
Means your legs are ippy.
No, it goes from siren to sister to size. What about chair? Because I guess a bench is just a long chair.
True.
When you think about it. Chasm, chaste, chalice, chain, chasm, a big chasm. Do you know, that reminds me, when I first saw the word archive, I read it in my head as archive. And then the first time I had to say it out loud, I was like, archive?
Well, it's like there used to be a website, I think, called Archive, which had, I want to say, just like profiles for artists and stuff. That probably is. It's probably still a thing. And your online art gallery since 1998, and you can look at lots of different artists and their paintings. And I always just called it Archive.
Archive.
Better go check Archive. I want to look at a painting.
Okay.
And I never changed that. It's still Archive.
There is no chair, but...
What?
I deviated and I looked up village instead. And it says, a village appearing in a dream suggests a fairly tight-knit community. It may illustrate our ability to form supportive relationships and a community spirit. A village can present certain problems. For instance, everybody knows everybody else's business, which can become trying. In this case, we may highlight the oppression felt in close relationships because the pace of life is slower. We may find that the village in a dream is a symbol of relaxation. Oh, it says, often village life was centered around the church and the pub, providing many contrasts. Spiritually, we have to look at balancing two parts of our lives.
The church and the pub.
Church and the pub. You want to balance them.
That sounds about right.
You want to do them in the right order. Don't want to make that mistake again. Speaking of which, oh my gosh, back to witchcraft.
Yeah.
I've been finding it interesting how, because I guess like when you think about witchcraft and the church, you think that they would very much be at opposites to each other. Whereas listening to like the Falklands podcast and also reading things like there's a book I read called The Vine Witch, which is very fictional and it's not. But I guess it must have some basis in...
That's what they want you to think.
Oh. It's basically about witches who work in vineyards and they help with the wine. And there's a bit in that when this guy goes to a priest and the priest is saying like, well, you know, these two things, they're not so dissimilar to each other. You know, you've got to... He talks about like faith and like he basically uses the example of because someone's just like, how do you believe in something you can't see? And he's just like, well, look at cheese. And he says, you know, I know that in there are these tiny little enzymes and stuff that are doing their job and I can't see them, but I know that they're there and I see proof of it and I believe it, sort of thing. This is linked to there's cheese. It's connected to the dream still.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just fascinating how like when I guess a lot of things back in the day, it wasn't so clear cut of people being like, because obviously if you think, oh, I want to ward off evil spirits, you didn't just go like, I'll go to church. You would be like, I will go to church. I will consult the local witch. I will carry this thing that protects me. I will have these. You basically just did everything that you could to be like, I just really don't want these evil spirits. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that it was like, you know, there's witchcraft and there's the church and they're at each other and one's trying to defeat the other. It was very much just like everyone was into, like a lot of the witch symbols you see, you find are in old churches.
That's cool.
Because people were just like, yep, may as well hedge my bet sort of thing. Just try it all.
Cover all the bases.
Yeah.
That makes sense. You are a fount of knowledge today. I'm sorry I'm not talking much. I'm just listening because you're just very interesting. You're just full of facts.
Just been doing a lot of reading recently.
So this is what happens when you read. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I can't read.
It's okay. I recorded all his audiobooks for you.
Oh, thanks.
I went to the theatre yesterday.
Oh my god!
I'm so
actually,
cultured.
I think you'll find you went to the theatre.
Weeks ago, many weeks ago.
Like 2.5 weeks ago.
Let me search my memory. Do I have any recollection of this long ago event that happened? It was in Arnos Vale, which is a cemetery. It's a cemetery.
It's a cemetery. You got married.
Yeah.
At the garden centre.
At the garden centre. There's a lot of flowers there, but not for sale.
A garden centre, you got to admit.
I get why people often mix it up for like, is it Arnos Grove, the tube station? I think it's a London tube station. I'm like, nope, not Arnos Grove. But yeah, we went to see a production of Hound of the Baskervilles.
Oh yes, I remember you saying.
And in that, I've completely forgotten why I started this now.
Sorry, I distracted you with the garden centre talk.
I got distracted because I suddenly remembered that basically it was a really good production. They had all these like sound effects. Like there'd be times that they would just be looking out onto the moors sort of thing. But obviously it's just, they just stood in a room. But you'd have all these sound effects that were like bird call and the wind whispering and stuff. And the building that we watched it in is above it's like a chapel. I want to say an Anglican chapel. And it's got a crypt underneath. And partway through the production, we just started hearing like, meow, meow. And we were like, is there a cat here? Or is this part of the production? Because they're not talking about a cat. There's very definitely a cat sound. But I think it was just the crypt cat that was just probably thinking, why can't I get in? Why is everyone in here? Stop it.
Let me in.
Yeah.
Stop what you're doing. I'm back from the garden centre.
Yes, I had a lovely look at all the potted herbs. Can I come in the chapel now, please? I think that's why I was talking about it. It's a chapel. I don't remember. Arnos Vale is like a very fascinating place because it's like a Victorian cemetery.
It looks really lovely.
We should go for a walk around there when you're next
I would love
in
to. Yeah, for
Bristol.
sure.
I can show you where it got buried and walk you around, do the tour. I used to take dogs around there.
Then we can go to the cafe and have a look at the potted plants.
It's opposite. Well, not really opposite. It's down the road from Bristol Arc, which is like the RSPCA branch.
I know exactly where it is, and I don't know why my brain immediately went garden centre.
But when I used to walk dogs for the RSPCA, I'd walk them around there and I'd chat away to them and be like, oh, and this is where I started hearing the violin song, and this is... But yeah, it's very lovely. But because it is Victorian, you do get these graves that have very like, I guess euphemistic, but not in like a matron type way, but in like they don't want to say like they dead. They just say like
they
for
dead.
Frank Smith, who went to sleep. And I'm just like, when you say that, you checked he died, right? You didn't just chuck him in.
You're writing this on a gravestone. We kind of get the hint.
He had a nap, but we just thought, well, chuck him in.
He's done. Get him in there. Got to meet quota. Oh my God.
But it's very nice. It's very overgrown in parts.
Yeah, I'd really like
nice.
to go. There was, again, Instagram, I think, there was someone on there who, they would go for walks in cemeteries and they would find gravestones that had recipes on them. And they would make the recipes, then bring them back to the gravestone.
Recipes?
Yeah, like a lot of people would be like buried with recipes on their gravestone. So like it would be like Edna's famous cookies. And then they just list everything and it's like, oh, cheers, Edna.
I thought you meant like the recipe for the grave, just like one Edna.
One Edna, one body.
Start by digging a hole.
No, they have like actual like food recipes on them, which is really cool. Oh, thanks for that.
What a legacy.
Consider it.
That is very nice.
That's really cool. I don't know if it's like an American thing because I don't really peruse many cemeteries to be honest, but
yeah, when you're hungry,
when I'm hungry. But I think that would be really cool, like going and finding someone's recipe that they loved, and they were like, "Yeah, put this on my gravestone. Someone can enjoy my casserole."
Such a nice way to live on as well, because I guess when you have like certain smells and stuff that can bring things back, I think that's like a very powerful memory thing. So that's like a nice, powerful way for them to live on through the creation of stew.
Exactly.
Brownies.
It's really cool. I wonder if there are any nearby.
What recipe would you pass on to the next generations? Is that a morbid question?
No, that's a good question. I like that. That can be our question of the week.
By?
What recipe would you put on your gravestone? I don't know. What would I do?
There's a story.
I don't really have any trademark recipes. I mean, you could put your...
you could have your kimchi.
Oh, true, yeah. I mean, my kimchi's just nicked from someone on TikTok, though.
Just call it Kirsty's Kimchi. Put it on
Kirsty's
a website
kimchi.
with a 5-page life story before it.
And that's it. Legit. Nice.
Oh, my gosh. Those 3 words that everyone loves to hear. Jump to recipe. Oh, love it. If ever I go on a recipe page and I'm just like, there's a life story here, but then I see jump to recipe, I'm like, yes, take me straight there.
I'm trying to Google, like, if there are any graveyards that have, like, recipes on the things, but I don't know if there really are around here.
don't think I've seen any in Arnos Vale, but maybe it wasn't. When was this sort of a thing? Like how
I
old
mean,
the
I don't know
graves
how
tend to
old the
be?
graves are really. Hang on, I found an article of a person who does it. I started during lockdown, like many people. I tried baking for the first time, and I got a TikTok account. This must be the person I was looking at. There are only about 10 so far that I've found, mostly through searching online. The first one I tried was a spritz cookie that was on a gravestone in New York. I wonder if it's like more of an American thing.
Yeah.
But I really like it. I think that's a really cool thing to do.
Yeah.
I'll have to have a think. Like, I have to come up with a recipe.
I guess that's the thing. I just use other people's recipes. I've never really...
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the only thing I like to make is I like making crispy tofu, but I'm not really going to put that on my gravestone.
Ooh.
I made that last night. It was very good.
You make it for me?
Yeah, good. Well, you don't really do with chili though, do you?
No, but maybe I could build up tolerance.
I could make sweet and sour tofu though.
I've been tempted to try. I got given some 5-spice, and one of the recipes popped up was like 5-spice tofu. So I was like, oh.
Okay.
But the problem is, it tastes like, well, it smells like it has like a slight aniseediness. And I'm just like,
5-spice is a little bit aniseedy. I'm not a big fan of 5-spice, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not the biggest 5-spice enjoyer.
I seized it because it was one of my friends was giving it away, and because I've got a new spice rack, I was just like, spices for my spice rack, yes.
Pop that in there. Yeah. No, I could make you sweet and sour tofu for sure.
I just bloomin' love tofu.
Tofu's so good. Like I've told you to do this so many times, but like with the beans on crumpets, you just elect not to.
Oh my god, that's my thing. I'm gonna.
You have to try it, Bryony. It's so good. You will not regret it. It's so good. But anyway, but never mind the beans on crumpets. Yeah, tofu. If you get firm tofu, you drain the water, like leave it to squish like you normally would with tofu. Cut it into strips, sort of probably like 1/2 centimeter, 3/4 centimeter in girth, and then cover it in corn flour. I do corn flour with powdered garlic, salt, pepper, and a bit of gochugaru, which is Korean chili flakes.
Yeah.
And then I cover it all up. You put it on a baking sheet, put it in the oven, and then it goes really crispy, like super crispy. And then I just make a chili sauce with like just sweet chili, garlic, sesame oil, soy, honey, and then cover it all up. Yesterday I caramelized some carrots to put in there as well, and I had it with some rice, and it was very lovely. Honestly, baking tofu like that is super good. And if you bake it for long enough so it gets like really crispy, then you get like, I think you've been a vegetarian all your life, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you wouldn't really know, but like kind of like the umami taste of like biting into it. Doesn't taste like a pork scratching, but it's that kind of sensation where like you bite into it and it's so crispy, and it's sort of the taste is just really good. It's like biting into a nice crisp, and it's just delicious.
This
Very
is what,
good.
when people say that they don't like tofu, I'm just like, you've just not found the right tofu.
You're just not doing it properly. Like if you just get firm tofu, you don't rinse out the water, you just fry it up, then it's just going to be slimy and floppy and taste like nothing, you know? But if you actually do something with it, then it will be really tasty. And making it crispy is my favorite thing to do. And sometimes as well, you can, instead of cutting it into strips, you can just squeeze all the water out and then squeeze it into a bowl, and do exactly the same thing. If you squeeze it enough, it will hold its shape, put it in the corn flour, put it on a sheet, and then you've just got bowls of tofu as well.
I have a bag of corn flour at the moment. I'm gonna do this.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Do you reckon it would work in an air fryer?
Yeah,
Nice.
I've done it in an air fryer before. I think I prefer doing it in the oven, but it does work in an air fryer. I think when I did it in an air fryer, I just didn't keep it in for long enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see why not. It's a very good thing to do, and you could get some chili sauce or sweet and sour sauce, or
well, I'll tell you my
like
favorite
black bean
sauce at the moment. I got given some vegan oyster sauce that's made with mushrooms. And oh my gosh, I opened up the bottle just to give it a smell, and I actually floored. I smelled it and I just went,
oh, bloody hell, that's good.
It's one of my favourite things to, like, there's a place that we've ordered from before, Chung's. It's like a vegan Chinese place.
Bloody love Chung's.
In Bristol. And they do this, it's like the simplest thing. It's their rainbow rice. And I get the urge for it so often that I was like, I need to learn how to recreate this now. And I finally nailed it. And I made it the other day and I was just like, this is good. This is good stuff.
Oh, I want to try it. I was going to say oyster sauce, then I was like, wait, no, oysters, not vegan.
Wow.
But yeah, you could do it with tofu. Like, yeah, you get some tofu, crisp it up, put some oyster sauce on it, have it with some rice, and it would be bloody lovely. Put some scallions, spring onions in there.
Oh.
Delicious.
I have some shallots.
Put that on my gravestone.
I've got this bag of shallots at the moment that I don't know what to do with, so I need to look up some shallot recipes. I got it for something very specific. I was making a duxel.
Yes, I was literally just going to say you could use that to make a mushroom duxel or duxel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what you wanted them for in the first place.
Or I might just use it to end my streams. I'll just hold one up and be like, that's shallot.
That's shallot. You could make like a mushroom pate, maybe.
Oh, I just bloody love mushrooms.
Yeah, I love mushrooms. I've been getting mushroom pate from Tesco lately because I like finding vegan pate because I don't want to eat real pate.
Is it the stuff in like the squeezy metallic tube that you get?
No, so sometimes in like the World Foods aisle you can get some good vegan pate and it's like kind of like meat substitute pate. So it's just, I don't know what the hell they make it out of, but it tastes kind of sharp like a pate. And sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're less good. I got one the other week that was okay, but with a bit of cucumber, it was very nice. But then I can't find it anymore. And in Tesco, they have mushroom pate, but it's not really pate. It's just kind of like a mushroom duxelle.
Yeah.
Duxelle. It's kind of coarse and it has like bits of mushroom in it, but it's really good. It's got like that really strong mushroom taste. Sorry, everyone who hates mushrooms, but I like them.
I love how we've got so.
We've just talked about all sorts, haven't we? It's just been witches, mushrooms, Ken, fucking.
We're recording this slightly later in the day than we normally do, so it is getting up to dinner time for me.
It is, yeah. So. Literally, I've not eaten today. I've had 2 crumpets and that's it with some jam, and that was my breakfast, and I had that at about 5 o'clock. So.
I've been enjoying recently just vibing with recipes, because usually I'll be like, okay, I'm going to try a new recipe and I will write it all out and I will
follow it
blue
like,
tack
to
it
the
to the cupboard and I'll measure everything out. Whereas recently I've been like, I'm going to make my first shepherd's pie, and I vaguely know what a shepherd's pie looked like what it's meant to come out like. So, and I've just sort of been going like, I'll just chuck this in, I'll just do this, and a bit of this. And that's actually pretty much really how I cook.
Yeah, that's just how I cook, to be honest. Like I will Google a recipe, I'll look at it for like 2 minutes and be like, right, yeah, I get the gist. And then I'll go to the kitchen and just make it myself and just wing it.
Yeah, that's what I did with the rainbow rice as well. I was like, Kim said to me, like, because I was like, there's this one part that I can't figure out what I meant to do to get this particular thing. And she took one look at a photo of it and she was just like, oh, it's probably this. So I was like, I'm not going to look up how to do it. I'll just try it. And it worked really well. And I was like, yes, this is it.
Hell yeah. It's like with my tofu, like I used to make it all the time when I lived at home for me and my mum. And she'd always be like, well, when I moved out, she was like, can you write down the recipe? Just write it down so I can make it. And I was like, I don't really have one. I just kind of just throw stuff in a pot until it tastes good and then I'll just put it on the tofu.
Yeah. It's like the other day I was doing dinner and Alex watched me pour something in and he just went, you just eyeballed that. I was like, yeah. He was like, you never eyeball. I was like, this is me now, baby.
Living on the edge.
Get used to it. I'm a bad bitch now. That's how my nana always used to cook. She'd just sort of like pinch of this.
Yeah.
Dollop of that. Yeah, it works.
That's the thing. It's fun to experiment with food. Like, I don't do much cooking really now because half the time I just can't be bothered. But
Yeah.
I do like just winging it and just seeing what comes of it. Like I've done a few like just I made this up but it was quite tasty recipes, you know, like risotto, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I made my own pasta that time. I mean, I did have to look that up, but I made the mushroom duxelle and then I was like, you know what, this will be nice in pasta. So I made some pasta fresh and then I put them in. I made little raviolis and they were very good. Very good.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice just making stuff up.
I think
I did that.
the other thing I've started enjoying doing is just saying to friends, like, would you like to come over for dinner? Because I've realized that cooking is like my love language. I'm like, I'm not good at like making stuff. I'm not great with words, but I will pour a lot of love into this risotto and then you can fill yourself with it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I'm kind of a bit like that. Like, I don't really experience it because I live alone. So it's just like, I'll make you dinner, Tabs. Here's some biscuits and some wet food. But like, I just like making food for people. Like when people come over, I'm like, oh, I'll make this. Like me and my mum, like my mum came over and I was like, right, we're having a taco night. And I made tacos, like just winged it. I was just like, yep, I'll use this fake minced meat. I'll put this spice in there. That'll be good. Blah, blah, blah. Here's some avocados, pee poo. And we had a lovely time. We sat and ate them on the floor and they were delicious. And when I went to Rithian's, I made him pasta and that was really nice. And even though I burnt the garlic bread, but it was lovely. It was just really nice. I love cooking for people. It's so good.
Yeah.
And Rithian, bless him, like he was just like, can I help? And I was like, no, it's all right. Like, and he was just sort of standing next to me. I was like, you don't have to watch me cook the pasta, Rithian. It's all right.
See,
he was like, okay, well, if you're sure. And I was like, yep, it's fine.
That is something I'm bad for. Because like I said, I've got those friends coming over, or they already came over in a few weekends ago. And one of them was like, out of interest, are you someone who likes help in the kitchen? And I was like,
no.
If you're in the kitchen, you're already in my way. You just sit down and relax.
Just please leave. Oh dear.
It's like with you, when you're around, I know that I can just say, actually, can you just cut that for me, sort of thing. Like I'm running a bit behind it and I'm just like, I know that you'll just be like, do that. And then to be like, I will go and relax now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, do you want help? You're like, no, I'm good. I'm like, okay. I will sit down. I don't want to get in the way.
It's like our first kitchen that we had in our tiny little flat. And literally, if I was in there, it was crowded. So yeah, I think that just got me in this thing of like, I have my space and I put on my sea shanties and I sing and I cook.
Yeah. I love just leaving you to cook because that's what you do. You put like nice music on, Alexa. Oh no, I said her name. It's fine. She didn't hear me. And then I can just hear you singing in the kitchen. I'm just like, oh, this is nice and cozy. If I go in there, she'll stop.
Oh. But the next thing that I try will be beans on crumpets. I did actually, I finished off a packet of crumpets today, so it'd be a good excuse to buy more.
Yeah, buy more, right? There's this stuff. I mean, you don't really like chili, do you? Do you like chipotle? Like the flavour, like smoky chili? Have you ever tried much of it?
I don't think I've ever had it.
Oh, really?
I do like smoky, like, chilies, though.
Yeah. There's, so you know, like the easy garlic and stuff that you can get in the jar?
Yeah.
That stuff's horrible. Don't buy that. But they do like an easy chili as well. And they have a chipotle one. It's just called like smoky chili or something like that in one of their square little jars.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it's amazing. It's just chili oil, but it's like chipotle chili oil with like flakes in it. And oh, it's so good. And honestly, toast the crumpet, put a bit of butter on it, put a bit of that on it, and then the beans and a bit of cheese. And oh my God, it's so good. It's incredible.
Okay.
Incredible.
Gonna give it a go. Well, the best thing I can do for now is I've got a little bit of chili powder that I could mix in with the beans, maybe.
Oh, well, use that for the tofu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do the crispy tofu too. You get all the ingredients for the beans and then report back on beans and crumpets because you have to try them.
This is something I found.
You'll never go back to toast. I promise.
This is my knowledge to impart because I found that it does actually work. But because sometimes got a new spice rack. So I went and I got some herbs and spices from one of those like zero waste places. So like I had so much fun printing out the labels and then weighing the things and printing out the new labels. I probably cost them more in the labels I printed than I spent in the shop. But I had a lovely time. Zero waste. Hold my pint. But we got some garlic powder, and I've always had a problem with garlic powder clumping.
Okay.
So I just put a little pinch of rice in with it, and it's not clumped at all. It's been very
perfect.
good. That's good. It's my hint, my
Top tip.
Yeah.
Life
Life hack.
Little life hack. Perfect.
But yes.
Yeah.
Well, we sort of talked about dreams.
We've been chatting about all sorts of rubbish for the last hour. We should probably go.
That's a podcast, isn't it? Yeah, we've done it.
Yeah, we've done it.
Just noise for an hour and then spaff it out, get it printed, stamp it, ship it.
Yep. Clip it and ship it, baby. See ya.
But yes, thank you, Kirsty, for a very lovely chat.
Thank you, Bryony. It's been very lovely as always.
And for everyone, what would your gravestone recipe be?
Yeah, what would your gravestone recipe be? I still don't know what mine would be. I think maybe cheesecake.
Oh.
Or carrot cake. I'd use my mum's carrot cake recipe. I'd just steal her recipe for that. Because that's a bloody good recipe. That's good.
I saw someone post a picture recently of a roast, and they said that they were having Marmite roast potatoes.
Ooh.
I don't really know what it is, but I want to try it. I want to try what I think it is.
Putting a little dollop of Marmite in your gravy as well is very nice.
I sometimes put it in chili as well.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Nice dollop of hummus in your chili makes it very
delicious.
Tasty.
Very good.
I'm so hungry.
Go and eat food. Okay. Thank you everyone for listening. And I hope you are all enjoying the Jingle Jam. If you are watching it, if you are not watching it, please go and watch Jingle Jam. There are lots of people streaming for Jingle Jam this year, but, you know, a good place to start is Yogscast on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah.
Because we are raising lots of lovely, lovely money for charity, and we need all the help we can get. So go and drop over there and donate some money, and you can get some good games in the old collection this year. So go do that.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Kirsty.
Thank you, Brady.
And until next time, everyone, bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.